All right, then. So this morning we're going to be looking at transportation. We're prospecting it, by the way, and having an overview of what transpired in 2024 and then projecting it into 2025. Transportation, they say, is the centerpiece of our daily lives. When it goes well, it really make our day very good. But if it goes bad, it unsettles us. And that's why we're going to the classroom this morning to have the thoughts and, of course, sip from the fountain of wealth of experience from one of our renowned transport professors. And he'll be taking us through this conversation this morning. Joining us on the phone line is Professor Samuel Gbadebo Odewunmi, who is former Dean, School of Transportation for the Lagos State University, LASU. Prof, it's nice to have you. Good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, Lagos.
Wonderful.
It's nice to be here.
Great. Prof, we will come to what the prospects should be looking like this year, but let's dwell first on the outgone year 2024. How would you assess Nigeria transport-wise that year?
Well, let me dichotomize Lagos and Nigeria.
Okay.
Tragedy begins at home. Let us look at transportation in Lagos and then nationally, because there is a bit of gap between Lagos and Nigeria as a whole.
Right.
In the transport family, we normally say Lagos leads and other states follows. So for Lagos, it has been a major on road. They've concentrated on major arteries, clearing the Ikeja gridlock points, Oyigbo, Badagry Express, and getting on the interchange on Mile 2.
Right.
So then for the rail, the blue line is still running and running up to Mile 2. But you will ask me later what are the prospects. We hope it will get to Okoko.
Right.
Then the red line is running. We hope also that we get to Marina is stopping at Oyigbo now for now.
Right.
Then on water, Lab Ferry is still the dominant, but Caverton joined them this year, and it has been a massive boost for private sector in the waterways. Then for the air, Lagos is considering airport for Ekpe. Now, for federal, it's a bit uncoordinated. Then I must mention something very massive.
Okay.
That is the transportation policy that Lagos State launched on May 28th. That is one of the best things that will happen to the state. Okay. Because when you have a policy, you have a roadmap. Lamata has been doing fantastically well, but Lamata mandate is smaller than a general transportation policy. But now back to federal government, the federal government has not been able to roll out a transportation policy. The present minister, Akali, has been pushing on the cylinders to get it done. We have worked with him, but it's still incoherent. He's still doing the rigmarole. And let me tell you, since about 5 decades, we have not been able to get a transportation policy. So we have been, growing in disjointed incrementalism, uncoordinated transportation growth. So we are throwing money at the problem, but we are not throwing our brain at it.
Right.
Then the road for federal, we are seeing Kaduna. Then that is Kaduna-Kano is running. Coastal Road is the major, the biggest kid on the block.
Right.
This year, much money is going to it. Then Badagry-Sokoto has been mentioned. And when you ask me about opinion on that, then on rail, the narrow gauge from Port Harcourt is still running. They are developing it, but the standard gauge has got to, I think, Asaba or so. Right. Then the standard gauge Lagos-Ibadan is running. Kaduna-Niger to Maradi is under construction. Then Water Niwa is doing its little bit with Nimasa, but no major push. Unlike Lagos that is having a major boost with Caverton. Then air, air has been very, very terrible this year because of inadequate number of aircraft. Due to the debt we have hold. Well, thank God the federal government has cleared the debt now.
Right.
The Emirates and others are now flying in. And according to the Minister of Aviation, we are going to get new aircraft because of the deal that he is having. Then on energy, we are expecting CNG to continue to have a wider spread. So these are what was the situation last year.
Right. All right. We'll still pick all those areas you just mentioned one after the other. But before we even do that, let's not forget one aspect, which is the maritime aspect, which was coined out of the main Ministry of Transportation.
The blue economy.
Yeah. So talk to me. What's your assessment of that ministry as well during the course of the year?
Yeah, I was on a program, on the radio program. I said, the taking off of that particular ministry will be, although they have the NPA, Nigerian Port Authority, they have NIMASA already on ground, but for it to take off as a ministry to begin to make impact, it will take some time, because blue economy is a new area. And if you want magic to be happening there, as in the rail or as in the air, you will be, because besides it as a form of transportation, it is being seen as economic and environmental matter. That is something to generate the blue economy. That's why they call it blue economy, not blue transportation.
Right.
It is a bit, the outlook is bigger than just getting the ship to move in and out and all that. So it is an area that is coming, but we are yet to begin to mine all the resources that are available to us in that sector.
Right. So, Prof, you did say that Lagos has at least achieved something in terms of unveiling the transport policy, which is working on right now. What is stopping Nigeria? What is stopping the nation at the federal level from really, really unveiling its own transport policy?
It has been pathetic. Personally, I've been involved in the drafting, correcting for past about 15 years now. And some people who are ahead of me, Professor Yusiku, Professor Badejo, Oni, many of our professors in the field, even the person that now midwife the final Lagos, who have been there since 1993, Dr. Banjo. It has, but my experience as the one that has been very close to the project now is that because transport has so many intervening interests. Look at Ministry of Works, will be protecting its interests. We not want Ministry of Transportation to snatch road construction, because road construction belongs to Ministry of Works, but road management belongs to Ministry of Transportation. And so many interests are at stake. So when it gets to council, they will not say, hey, you want to do toll gate, who will be collecting? The Ministry of Finance will say, no, don't put this clause, because it will hit into our area. So it is a matter of interest of all the interested stakeholders in transport. The last one that we drafted before the balkanization of the ministry into blue economy and transport, because Minister of Transportation at the federal level now is only running land, that is road and rail. That's all.
Okay.
The others have been taken away, and that's one of the things I will discuss when you ask about the prospect and what we should be doing.
Right.
Transport is an integrated business. It does not operate optimally when it is disaggregated, when it is separated. Because if you travel by water, you will end up on land. If you travel by air, you will end up on land. If you travel by rail, you will end up. So you must take all of this together in your planning. And because we cannot plan, because of this policy wahala, because people are defending their interests, that is the major thing, and I can say it anywhere. We nearly got it through during Amechi reign as ministers. They have worked together, we have crossed the T's, we have dotted the I's, only for the ministry to be broken up. Then we now have to start again with land transportation policy. So even when we roll out now a policy this year, which I believe the minister is not sleeping on, it will be land transportation policy. But those of us who are academics and professionals, we said we will now shout that there must be an umbrella policy that will take care of, that we see what rail is doing, what water is doing, what Air is doing in order to integrate it. But this year, for federal, at best, if we are lucky, we will get the land transportation policy out.
So Prof,
the policy is there. The politics is still there.
Right. So, Prof, I'm just a bit skeptical. Maybe the reason why they've decided to balkanize it or perhaps disaggregate it, as the case may be, is maybe they think, considering all the interests that you have, it will be too large to fit everybody into one room as a ministry. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I have no problem with the administrative balkanization. I mean, I've said it. For administrative convenience, you can do anything. But you have two options. Either to bring them together into one room, like America did, or you create all those things, create as many as aviation, let it be, water, let it be, rope, let it be, rail, let it be. But you must create a statutory point where they must synergize. There must be a strong handshake written into their law that all these ministers must work together at least 3 or 4 times. They must sit together in a year. When you are developing your road, the rail must know what you are doing. For example, most of me look at Ibadan. When the rail started go to Ibadan, now it was years later they now started constructing the road that will take people to the town. The same thing when you get to Kano or Zaria, the road that links the rail was not part of the plan. So there must be synergy if you want to talk transportation, except you just want to give it to, and that's part of the thing also I will say, that if you give it to professionals, why you have administrative convenience by balkanizing, because they want to get more from blue economy than just transportation. That is understandable. But then you cannot develop that aspect of the blue economy without letting the road know, without letting the rail know, especially rail and water. They mean whatever ship that brings anything in, they will need rail to take it. So there must be that synergy. And the president must be able to say, look, all of you are kit and kin. We just did this for administrative convenience. Transportation is one.
Okay, so let's talk about that big project now, which the federal government unveiled last year. That is the unveiling of the coastal road, which runs from Lagos all the way to Calabar. It's a 700-kilometer road. Prof, is that an ambitious project?
Very ambitious. It has its strength, and I've advised on how to optimize it quickly. Because by the design of that road is supposed to be finished in 8 years. About half of it, the first 4 years, then about the completing the other half, the other 4 years, anticipated 4 years of President Tinubu. Now, for me, that is not advisable because they are running, I think, 8 lanes.
Okay.
I said, look, let us have 4 lanes and reduce the completion time to 4 years. You are in Lagos. If you remember the Iba Egbeda Road, the initial lane was constructed by Jakonde. It was when the traffic density rose so high that they know that people are now traveling, that Fashola now did the second lane.
Right.
So by the time you do that, it will waste time, it will waste money. And there is a danger of not completing in that even 8 years. And when you don't complete transportation system, you don't take maximum advantage of what it is. Besides, there are several needs that we need to attend to. The immediate, like the major arteries in Nigeria are suffering.
Right.
The major arteries that the white people use to evacuate resources and do administrative control of Nigeria effectively. The western artery, trunk A, Lagos to Sokoto, the eastern axis, Porako to Maiduguri, and they did the rail. And that served Nigeria so effectively. So I believe money should be spent on that and not waste 21 trillion on the coastal road as planned. Then too, there is other thing that is good about it, which is not in the front burner. But to those of us in the business, we know why the president is also interested, and it is good for the country. You know, the eastern Lagos now is the esophagus, the neck of Nigeria economy. You have the Lekki deep sea water, the port,
deep sea port,
which is the biggest now, and a lot of things will be coming in through that axis. If there is no strong road, what we were facing with Apapa gridlock in those days will be a child's play. You now have Dangote that is doing fertilizer, that is doing crude, that is doing diesel, petroleum. So it is of national importance that they take that coastal road at least to the end of East Lagos as quickly as possible, because the strength of that road can withstand any load. So for me, that's the foresight in that road. But beyond that part, the economic utility reduces. So we can do 4 lanes, that's 2 on this side, 2 on this side, that we quickly get to that Calabar, and it will now become very, very useful. But if you plan for 8 years, like we did for Lagos-Badagry road that went on and almost forever, it is this governor that is now putting all his chest to it to ensure that it becomes at least up to Okoko now. The road is fairly good. So it's a good thing, and it will serve evacuating the major block of goods that will be coming in the eastern Lagos now. The Dangote and all his appurtenances and Lekki deep sea port. So I think that makes a huge economic sense. But beyond that, I think it should just be made 4 lanes, or even 2 lanes. And finish it.
Okay, then. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM is, if you're wondering, who is speaking so eloquently on the program this morning. Professor Samuel Gbadebo Odewunmi is Dean or former Dean School of Transport for the Lagos State University, and he's been talking to us on the overview of what transportation looked like in 2024. We're going to take a short break right now. When we return, what are the prospects of us invested in transportation in 2025? And if you have any questions for Prof as well, feel free to connect with us 08099120777 and 09153877127. A brief break, we'll be back.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from port A, go enter port B with a measure within on a needle. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem where shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily lane. Papa, email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng. Allow us on top 0818-888-8895 or 0703-584-6468. Nigerian Shippers Council with a meeting for the port of an need.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Maritime today is the program, and the program this morning we are prospecting transportation in Nigeria, an overview of 2024 and prospecting 2025. Professor Samuel Odewunmi is our guest, and he's taking us to the classroom this morning. All right, then we did tell you that Lateef Jakande Road was busy earlier on due to an impediment around the Beja corridor. With the good news, it is much better right now, even from our live cameras. Things are flowing pretty well at the moment. So kudos to our traffic managers for clearing that. Other locations, we did tell you, Jushaga axis, some areas are very busy, but it's getting much better right now with the presence of traffic managers within those corridors. All right, then moving on. They say safe and efficient transportation is the lifeblood of any city. Prof, let's get that in. Even as we begin to trudge on in 2025, what are the prospects of transportation this year?
Well, for Lagos, I expect, I pray they will, working on MARITIME interchange, which is a major project of Lagos state government. And I believe Red Line will be more, the number will be increased. And the blue line too, I hope they can get to Okoko. That's a tall order, but the governor has made the transport and traffic management his priority.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but I will now be combining it with my advice.
Okay.
Lagos should pay attention to the inner roads, because major roads that they have done very well on is what we call a traffic collector. But when you do the inner road, the vein roads into the community, they distribute traffic. So I want them to pay attention to doing the inner roads to distribute. Many drivers may not, many motorists may not want to end up on those major expressways.
Okay.
But then I want them to continue with the dredging to make Lagos water very free against water hyacinth and all that. They are doing it, but we need to do more. Then the bus reform, they must complete the bus reform, because you see, BRT, these are government. It's not easy to for government to be involved, but if they do the bus reform, they'll be able to help the. Then the blue line, as I said, I hope it will get to Okoko. And then the fourth mainland bridge, well, they will just start it. It's not something we can finish. Then Lagos, I want them to float Lagos airline.
Okay.
If Akwa Ibom can float an airline, what reason will Lagos have? Although they plan an airport at Epesa, which is okay, but I think Lagos should consider. As for federal, the national policy is the number one. They must have the land transport policy that has got to 95% readiness.
Okay. Then
they must have integration and coordination of the planning. There must be road agency. I've been saying this about for some time now. You know, all the modes. The rail has its agency. The rail that is called, carrying less than 3% of our mobility.
Right.
But air that is carrying, all of them have 2 or 3 or 4 agencies. But road that is carrying more than 95% of our mobility, there's nobody in charge. And that is why you have all sorts of union, local governments, they are just cashing out on the road. That is why Lagos is ahead of Nigeria, is because they have Lamata that is overseeing the road and other modes together, especially road. So, but federal government has nobody at all in charge. So I advise then the sector of transport must be professionalized. You see, in the ministries, when they put, for example, the last permanent secretary of transport at the federal level was Dr. Ajani, who is a medic, but she was just getting a good grip of what the problem of transport is. She became a master, but now she's been taken to interior. So unlike law, unlike medicine, where they will want you to professionalize and let those who know stay in the field. The law has been passed. Lagos has accepted it. Osun State has accepted it. But the full rollout of that policy is yet to be.
Okay.
Then,
Prof, just hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, because some messages are coming in here for you. This one says, "Good morning, Prof. It's good to have you on air this morning. Please, in your view, how did the fuel subsidy removal impact the transportation industry in 2024? Read one is sending that one in. Quickly, maybe you can answer that in 30 seconds.
Well, it's an impact. It has reduced the number of vehicles on the road. That's the immediate impact, but it has increased cost of transportation.
Okay.
And for those of us in the field, we have bite the bullet. And it can always improve. It will be improving down the line. The route we are taking before will lead us to perdition. It's not sustainable. Now we are on a sustainable route where we know that gradually competition and alternatives will drive us in appropriate. For example, Nigeria is now having trade surplus. Fuel is one of the reasons why we are having surplus. We used to spend all our money in importing fuel.
All right. Another question here. There's another question here that says, "Good morning, Traffic Radio. How can Lagos State and Nigeria as a whole accelerate its railway development programs in 2025?" Ifeanyi is sending that one in for Momoli.
Let me say it briefly, simply, it's PPP. Government cannot get all the money to run railway. We thank God. They have moved railway from exclusive list of the federal to the state. So PPP and states should be the panacea, that talisman that will make a quick rollout
Okay.
That's the answer to that.
All right. This one says, good morning. How can the government address the high cost of transportation in 2025? The masses are really suffering from this problem. Anonymous is sending that one in.
Yes, everybody. If you are not in Nigeria, you won't know the pain. The way it will reduce, it has started. The CNG, the electric vehicle, the price of crude that will be the refined product, and the competition among the refineries, because the major trigger of the increase is the increase in fuel price. So once that starts coming down, it can only come down. That is just the point.
Right.
And gradually we'll be feeling it.
Okay, there's one here, and this will be the last. This one says, good morning, Prof. I am Sheung Ibrahim. There was a drop in the price of fuel recently, and it currently sells at about 9.30 and 9.59, depending on the stations. That's about 100 naira drop from last year. But to my surprise, some transporters have increased fare rates instead of reducing. How can such practices be cured? Sheung Ibrahim.
So that increase was as a result of the festive season. Immediately the festive season, the drivers wants to cash out and make their own overtime, because that's when they can make. When you have demand, the price go up. Right. If you cannot increase supply. So that is the reason. Henceforth, from this January, I can assure you, the drive on CNG and everything, the price will start gradually coming down, because only very few people will be. The demand will slow down.
Okay.
Therefore, the price will also go down.
Let's wind to the end this morning quickly. This flash update coming in says a lone accident at Oshodi by the front of LASMA headquarters office inwards Oshodi. Okay, it's having a brake failure. 2 male casualties on ground. Officers are monitoring the situation. Prof, as we round off the program this morning, what's your take? As we round
My
off?
take is, I want to complete that federal government should pay attention to gridlock points in Nigeria. In Ogbomoso, your road, Makurdi to Enugu. There are so many lockdown points that Lokojack Bridge, especially during the rainy season. Then the federal government should slow down on Badagry Sokoto Road. Let them complete the one they are chewing at Coastal Road.
Okay.
Before starting another one. Then let them do all the major arteries. Get the Port Harcourt narrow gauge running, Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, and get the Badon to Ilorin on the rail before starting the Tokoto. Then they should promote non-motorized transport in urban cities.
We'll leave it at that for now. We'll leave it at that for now.
So
Prof.
These are the major. I know your time is up,
yes.
So I'm glad to be here.
All right, then, Prof. It's always a thing of joy having you. And one program is never sufficient to really discuss transportation when we have a great Prof like you. Nice having you on the program. Thank you so much for linking up with us.
The pleasure is mine.
Okay, then. So he is Professor Samuel Gbadebo Odewunmi, of course, former Dean, School of Transport at the Lagos State University. And this morning, he's been able to help us prospect transportation in 2025 with a hindsight of what happened in 2024. We have to go. The program this morning has been produced by Dayo Anthony. I say a big thank you to Rebecca Adamo, Assistant Director of Public Relations for the Nigerian Shippers Council. In the studios this morning, Shino has been here, and also to our social media team. I say a big thank you to Okpayemi Shodunke and others as well. Our executive producer is Taya Akole. My name is Victor Oteri. Have a great day. Bye.